Welcome into this week of Buccaneer Insider. It's another week, and the math guys here. We think we figured out week 17, correct?
17.
17 weeks. Look at that. We've been motoring along. Killian McClatchy, Nicholas Case. I want to thank you all for joining us. We got another exciting week. A little bit, last week, a little more, kind of sad, a little more doom and gloom, as we do know that sports ended up getting canceled here for the fall, but. We got to talk to some great coaches last week. This week, going back behind more into the athletic department itself as we talk to Cliff Miller, who is the Associate AD for Development and Tickets, and we got to talk to him first. And we've got a Buc Club. We're gonna talk plenty about the Buc Club. Don't forget about that. And we got a special guest. We're gonna keep the second guest a little kind of under wraps here for the first little bit.
Yeah, Cliff is brand new, and our second guest is brand new. So it's quite the introduction to everyone. And we're being very sneaky and secretive because it's fun to be sneaky and secretive.
Because we can. Nobody can stop us.
It's our show.
Yeah, it's our show, brought to you by East Bay Deli.
East Bay Deli.
Yeah, let's thank them for helping us put it on. But yeah, we've got Cliff, and it was great getting to chat with him, and got a lot of really good information on the Buc Club, and we'll definitely, there'll be plenty of information on the Buc Club if you want to learn how to get involved, learn how to join. You can get yourself a nice shirt like Nick has.
Yeah, it's more than just a polo, but it's a very comfortable polo.
There you go. All right, let's get to Cliff here on Buccaneer Insider. Want to welcome in our first guest for this week's Buccaneer Insider. It is Cliff Miller, another new Buccaneer. So welcome aboard to the Associate AD for Development and Tickets. So Cliff, welcome. I think this is for a lot of people the first time that they're really getting to kind of see you and get their kind of introduction to you. So how have you been? What have you been up to?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. And yeah, it's probably the first time a lot of people are getting to see me. It's been obviously a weird year with COVID and everything going on. So it's not been as easy for me to get out and get to meet as many people as I'd like to. But appreciate you having me on here and being able to introduce myself this way. It's been a crazy kind of month and a half for me. Started July the 6th. And came in and had a lot of things that I was looking to get done, and started to put together a good plan for that. And then July 10th, my wife had our first kid, and every plan that I had in the works kind of got thrown out the window. And so it's been a little bit interesting and hectic and chaotic, but it's been a lot of fun, and it's been an exciting time to get to be here and get to try to build some things and take us in the right direction.
Well, congratulations, Ben, first of all.
Thank you.
Yeah. Not on the job. So, all right, not to put you on the spot, but what's bigger, new job or new kid?
I imagine my wife and my family will end up seeing this, and so I have to say new kid. 100%. It's been the biggest change I've ever experienced in my life, and one of the best things that's ever happened in my life. So been really exciting, a lot of fun, getting to be a dad and getting to, just experience all the fun things that come with that, and sometimes the not so fun things. But so that's been great. The new job has been a lot of fun too. It's been kind of the first opportunity for me to have my own development shop and be able to set things up the way that I want, and really get to build something from the ground up, essentially. Jeff was great to kind of say, hey, like this is your deal, and I'm here to help if you need me, but I'm not going to be looking over your shoulder and making sure you're doing it the way I want it done. I want this to be your baby, so for lack of a better term. So it's been really exciting to get to kind of put things together and see that all come into play and how it's going to work.
What's the path that brought you to us?
You want the full path, the full Cliff Miller story?
We keep it about 20, 30 minutes for interview, so whatever you think works.
Okay, so I'm originally from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Grew up, born and raised there. Went to Texas A&M for my undergrad. My undergrad's in exercise science. I thought I maybe wanted to be a physical therapist or a strength coach, and clearly I am neither of those things. And just through that experience, realized like that was not the life for me. That wasn't the route I wanted to go down. And but had some opportunities to work in athletic departments in some different places, and I really knew I wanted to be around student athletes and helping them out. And so through some recommendations, decided to go back and get a master's degree. I went to Xavier University up in Cincinnati, and they were great to let me help out in their athletic development office. And then that turned into a job in the ticket office. Once I graduated, made a move down to University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, where I was at for about 4 years as the director of ticketing, and had a great time there. Got to really see all the ins and outs of ticketing, which I always try to tell, students that intern for me or GAs that I have, if you really want to see what the sports industry looks like, you should start out in ticketing. It's just a great opportunity. You get to be around the fans, you get to talk to a lot of different people, and you really get to see things just in all different areas. So that was a great opportunity for me. Like I said, spent about 4 years there, and then took an opportunity to be director of the annual fund at Bowling Green State University up in Northwest Ohio, and really enjoyed my time there. It was a short time, was only there a little over a year, and then fate kind of took over, and that's how I ended up down here. It wasn't really something that I had planned on. My wife and I had kind of planned on being in Bowling Green at least for another year or so. That's why we moved here with her 39 weeks pregnant, because we weren't expecting to be moving anytime soon. But this was just too great of an opportunity to pass up. Lots of great people here, and that was a big deciding factor in us making the move.
You are one of many in a long line that have left Ohio to come to Charleston, so don't worry, you are far from alone.
I hear that's a pretty popular move, yeah.
So for people that don't really know, your position, obviously we mentioned, ticketing, and that's a large part of what you do. So what else kind of goes into the development side, and what's kind of your job?
Yeah, so my big role is to work with the Buc Club. We've got about 350 Buc Club members. Nick's wearing the shirt. Really appreciate the support. We've got about 350 Buc Club members that make an annual gift to our athletic department. The nice thing here is, and it's not the case everywhere, is that you can make a Buc Club gift, and it can go to the athletic department, it can go to the baseball team, the women's basketball team, the football team, whatever team you want it to go to. And it's still going to count as your Buc Club gift, which is great. It's an awesome opportunity for our fans to be able to support the teams that they are the biggest fans of, and to really give them a great opportunity to grow their programs and to be able to recruit better and to bring in new things and try different plans and all kinds of crazy things like that. So that money is huge for our programs, and is a major necessity for a school like CSU and the things that we want to do. We rely pretty heavily on private donations, and so my role is to grow that as much as possible. So I always like to joke that people love me but don't ever want to see me, because they always know that at the end of the day I'm going to be asking them to support us from a financial standpoint. So
What's the biggest thing that you're looking to, I guess other than raise money, what's the biggest thing you're really looking to do and build with the Buc Club?
Yeah, I think the thing that I figured out when I got here, and it's probably just from a lack of someone being in my role. The person that was in this position previously left about a year ago. It was almost about a year to date from when they left until when I started. It's just that there just hasn't been a great amount of communication with our donor base, and that can be a big issue with people becoming less engaged. And so kind of my big focus right now is to really try to, especially now that we're not going to have fall sports this year, is to really engage our donor base and fan base and get them back involved, make sure they understand everything that's going on at CSU, and all the special things that are happening with our athletes, even though they're not participating in competition right now. They're still doing a lot of really cool things. And so being able to tell those stories, I like to think of myself as a storyteller. My job is to tell the stories of our student athletes and our coaches and our athletic director, so that our donor base understands what's going on, and so they feel like they're involved in the programs and make them want to give back. That they don't feel forced to give back. They feel like it's important for them to do that so that they can continue to help us out.
And so something, we'll mention it and we'll put it down at like the bottom of the screen, and we'll be sure to mention it on. So how can somebody join the Buc Club? How can somebody join and become a member?
Yeah, so hopefully they got one of these in the mail at some point. At least I don't know if it's upside down. Hopefully they got one of these in the mail pretty recently, so they can easily fill that form out that's on there, mail that back into us with a check. They can also go online, and like you said, we'll put that link on the bottom. It's csuniv.webconnects.com/Buc Club. That's a terribly long web address, but they can go online and make their gift via credit card that way as well. They have the option online to set it up as a recurring gift, whether that's monthly, quarterly, however they want to set that up. They can do it through their credit card or through their checking account, which is really nice and a great option for somebody that wants to make an impact but doesn't maybe necessarily have the ability to do it all at once and likes to break it up over the time. So
is there like an upper, I don't want to say there's no upper limit. Is there a lower limit to how much somebody can give?
There's absolutely no upper limit. We will take any and every dollar that someone wants to give us. That lower limit, just so technically, no, there's not a lower limit. If we appreciate any donation of any level. Technically, to be a full Buc Club member, there is a lower limit. It's $19.64. It's clever, 1964. So that would be the lower limit. But truthfully, we appreciate any and all donations, and they're all going to go back to supporting our student athletes and to giving them the best experience that they can while they're here.
If for some reason you're watching Buccaneer Insider or listening and you don't know it, 1964 would be the year the school was founded. So
I would hope that our Buccaneer Insider viewers know that, but you never know. You're right.
We may have somebody stumbling upon it, or a parent whose kids are going here, and they're like, "Oh, what's this about?" Now they've learned something new, and now they can give to no upper limit.
We can feel like we've accomplished the goal because people learned something.
That's right. My good deed for the day is done. I can log off and just go back to sleep. It's fine.
So I've got kind of one more, work related question. We can get more, talking about, you yourself. When it comes to the Buc Club and your position, you mentioned how Jeff Barber kind of mentioned how it's your baby. So what do you want to see? What are kind of your goals for this university over the next couple of years as you look to build it up?
Yeah, I think Jeff's got a pretty great vision of some things he wants to do, especially from a capital project standpoint. And it's no secret we have to build a new basketball arena in the next few years, and so looking for some great Buc Club supporters who would be interested in supporting that project. Another of his big things right now is expanding the football stadium. We've got a great stadium. It's just a little small right now. And so how do we make that even better and an even cooler atmosphere to, go back to my position of drawing in people, selling more tickets, and making it even more fun for our student athletes that are out on the field. So those are some of the more, the kind of the bigger picture ideas in terms of capital projects. Just from a smaller level on my point of view is like I want to see the Buc Club grow in numbers of members and numbers of dollars. I think 350 is a solid number, and it's been growing over the past few years, but there's no reason that we can't be much higher than that. We're in a huge area in Charleston that loves college sports, that loves sports in general, and then also we've got a great tie-in with being a Christian university. This is a great area for that. So how do we tie all those things together and communicate that to our community? I think we've got a lot of great coaches who have done a great job getting out into the community and showing that we want to be involved with you. We're not asking you to be involved with us, and we're not going to come out and support you as well. And so I feel really blessed to be around a staff like that's open and willing to do all the things that it takes to get people involved and invested in our programs. I think it's imperative that we're willing to be invested in their lives as well.
And we've seen the Buc Club's fruits of labor in looking around campus, like the Singleton Center and the Performance Center. That's so the money goes somewhere, and we've seen the improvements in the couple of years that I've been here as to what it can do. And so it is a vital thing, and it does make a difference. And that Performance Center is so much better than what they had, and the Singleton Center makes that baseball complex the best baseball complex in the city, as far as between Citadel, CFC, and us, and that makes a difference.
It really does. It makes a huge difference for our fans. It makes a huge difference for our student athletes. It helps our coaches to be able to recruit better. And so in all aspects of what we're looking to improve on, it's going to help us. Every dollar that we can bring in that's more than where we were is going to help us to improve on a dramatic level. And, to be able to see the success that CSU has had with the limited resources that we currently have is incredible. And so, the story that I try to tell is, think about where we could be with just a little bit more. The amount of things that we could do and the successes that we could have. There's no reason that we couldn't be the top tier program in the Big South, and one of the top tier programs in the FCS. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for growth here. And so that excites me.
Well, I think, like I said, it's all really great stuff, and it's supporting the university. So everybody will, like we said, we'll be sure we'll put some links. We'll mention again before we finish up with you, where you can go to donate and become a member. But I feel like I have to turn it over to Nick Case, the Charleston food and travel expert, because you mentioned that you just moved here recently. So I feel like, Nick, you've got I feel like the question that I need you to ask.
Well, Whataburger is 3 hours away in Jacksonville.
Ooh, okay.
So
it's not terrible.
No, so I just thought you should know that's important.
I appreciate that.
So I spent a lot of time in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, actually. For like 5 years, I spent a week there doing in the summer doing a lot of work in the general area. So I got to sample a lot of the food there, actually. My favorite spot was Easy Sliders in Deep Ellum.
Okay, yeah.
Torchy's, I know it's a chain, but still. Was it Hard Eight Barbecue out in So,
fantastic choice, yeah.
Yeah, so we can actually talk about Dallas food instead of me just talking about Charleston food, and I could go on a list. And of course, In-N-Out, which I know a chain, but it's not out here, but it's out there. So
yeah, no, it's Dallas is a great food scene. Someone was telling me that Lewis barbecue is very similar to Hard Eight.
I can see that. I can see it.
So I'm excited to try that. It's been a little weird moving to a new city during a pandemic, and also with a brand new baby. You don't really get out a whole lot. I think we went to dinner. We've been to dinner like once since the baby was born. So it's been a little tough, but yeah, really excited to get out and explore and experience all the great Charleston food restaurants or food scene that exists. So Jeff actually sent me a list the other day. I was like, here, this is a like top X amount that, I put this list together when I started working here. And so it's, there's tons. So yeah. I'm open to any and all suggestions.
As far as best barbecue, it's gotta be Lewis. It's not going to be like Hard Eight where you walk in and they just have the pit that you point out. I'll take that, and that.
Which is dangerous, like, right? That's how you end up spending like $100 by yourself.
Yeah, every time it was about $40 because I get all kinds of meat, then get the cheesecake, and then get the onion rings, and yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
But Yeah, that's probably, and I heard good things about Pecan Lodge, and that's probably about as close as you're going to get to those kind of places is Lewis.
Okay. Okay.
Really quality spot. So, we'll meet sometime in the halls. You'll tell me what your genres are, and I'll put together my own list as well.
I would appreciate that greatly. It's a bit daunting when you just start looking at the lists of restaurants in this town, and like I don't even know where to begin. Like,
Yeah,
you got to start somewhere, but where?
it's amazing to see how this has exploded into a food central place from where it was. But yeah, there's a lot, and it's definitely, even as somebody that lives here and has the time to go and walk around, it's like I don't know where to start.
Yeah, it's like you said. I mean, and then once you've lived here a while, you've got your go-tos, your standbys, and so you end up exploring as much as you like, probably.
Why should I try this other taco place when Tiki Taco is my favorite? Well, why mess up a good evening out?
Exactly, because you don't know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I feel like I have to ask you. Nick mentioned In-N-Out and Whataburger. So, which side of the debate do you fall on? This is a big one because I know where I stand. I'm a West Coast guy, so I'm In-N-Out.
This is an extremely tough question for me. So In-N-Out didn't come around until I left Dallas in 2014. 2014. In-N-Out came around 2012-ish. So I only had it for like 2 years. But even in those 2 years, like, it grew on me very quickly. I think I have to go Whataburger just because that's what I grew up with. And that's still, but like basically every time we're home, we always go to Whataburger and In-N-Out at least once, because they're both just too good. Like,
Yeah, from 2015 to I guess 2019. Yeah, 2018. I was in Dallas I was there with the Stingrays when we played the Allen Americans in the Kelly Cup Finals in 2015, and then for like 3 or 4 years straight, I was there for a week for a freelance job, and so we'd always go around and try out all the different restaurants and everything, and that's such a hard comparison for me because In-N-Out and Whataburger are burger places, but they're two different kinds of burger places.
Sure, yeah, no, they're very different.
Whataburger is just that wonderful, greasy, just dig in kind of a place. Like, no regrets. I'll feel awful later, but I don't care because it's delicious. Whereas In-N-Out, I don't know. I don't want to say it's refined because I don't think a burger place can necessarily be refined, but it's definitely a different tier of you're going in there with an agenda almost of, I'm going to try animal style. I'm going to try the off menu stuff. It's not just, I'm just going to dig into a nice patty mill kind of a thing.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. It's, and like you said, you've got all the different off menu options, and if I'm gonna try to be healthy, I can go protein style and get it in the lettuce wrap, and but that's just that's not gonna work for me. My wife does that occasionally, but no. If I'm gonna get a burger, like if I'm doing it, I'm just gonna go for it, like full on.
You can't go halfway with it.
No, I'm gonna feel terrible later, and it's gonna be fine.
Embrace it.
Like when I get the cheesecake at Art 8, just go for it.
Yeah, it's fine. You survive.
John, our color guy, or our other play-by-play guy, John Peters, would go to me with Heart 8, and he would get like the 32-ounce T-bone that they cook there. And man, to see that man polish off a 32-ounce T-bone is just beyond impressive.
That is some serious eating. I feel like I could do it, but I would not be someone you would want to be around for the next
definitely not
2 days, probably.
I will say it was one of the best steaks. He gave me a bite, and it was one of the best steaks I've had. So.
Oh yeah, I've split it with people before because it is twice the size of my head. It's.
Well, so I mean, I guess kind of the other thing you mentioned, you haven't had a lot of time to get out with COVID and all that, but are there any things that you're kind of you're excited about being in Charleston and getting the chance to go and check out and do while you're here?
Yeah, I mean, my wife and I are really big beach people, so we're really excited to be. We live in West Ashley right now, so we're about 20-30 minutes from Folly Beach, so that's a big plus for us. Obviously, not really beach options for us right now with a 6-week-old, but once she gets a little older, probably spending a lot more time down there. we've gotten out and just kind of walked around downtown some, which is, just a cool area, right? I mean, it's just so much history. I'm kind of a history nerd, and so getting to see all that. And I mean, my parents were here a couple weekends ago, and we were driving downtown. I was like, I mean, this basically looks like 1790. It's just that there's cars around. I mean, like all these, all the cool buildings and everything that's going on down there. So being in an area that's got a lot of history and a lot of things to do like that is pretty exciting for me. So.
Well, I don't know if you've got anything else for him, Nick. It was really great getting to see you and get to chat with you, and really introduce you to Buccaneer Nation and everybody around.
Absolutely,
I appreciate you guys having me on. It's been fun.
Yeah, and thanks for being another person in the office to put pressure on my wife and I to have a kid, because not like there's not enough of that.
Not like we don't have any kids in this department, right?
Yeah, nothing. I feel like I'm the only one married in the department that doesn't have a kid at this point. So.
At one point in the interview process, when I really felt like Jeff was trying to sell me on the job, and then I felt like I was maybe his top candidate, he was like, well, I know your wife's pregnant. He's like, our baseball coach, his wife just had a baby. Our assistant volleyball coach had twins a couple of months ago. Our SID, his wife had a baby recently. I mean, he just starts naming people, and I'm like, okay, all right, yeah. So yes, there's a ton of pressure on you, Nick.
No pressure, but it's been 2 years. Well, 3. Oh man, it's been 3 years. Okay, well,
you got to edit that out.
I'm gonna make sure she does not see this episode. She doesn't watch it anyway. It's fine. But once again, thanks for continuing to not bring the pressure on that the rest of the department has brought.
Do what I can. I appreciate it. I mean, I'm trying.
Yeah. So, well, we appreciate it. I was gonna say, if you want to give everybody that, where they can go to join the Buc Club one last time before we let you go, and we appreciate you coming on.
Yeah. So again, that's a terribly long link. So hopefully you can just pop the link in on the broadcast. But it's csuniv.webconnects. That's with an x.com/Buc Club. That'd be. We'd love to have you. We'd love to have as many Buc Club members as we can this year. Being an interesting year with COVID, it doesn't change our need for private support from our donors. So
awesome. Well, look forward. Hopefully, we get some new members. I'm sure we can work out a deal where if they mention Buccaneer Insider when they join, we can get them like a signed picture of Nick or something like that. I'm sure we can work that out.
I've got a lot of headshots laying around. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Send me one of those, please.
Hey, you got it. Don't worry.
I'll put it on my desk. Framed.
Perfect. I'll do a nice little heart above the eye and Nick.
Above the eye, perfect. I'm into it.
All right, thanks,
Awesome.
Cliff. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Enjoyed it.
That was Cliff Miller, the Associate AD for Development and Tickets. And, it was great getting to chat with him. It's always fun seeing new faces. We had it last week. I know, at least me personally, I hadn't met any of the guys. And it's always fun. It's nice talking to people, getting to see new faces, and especially when it comes to that Buc Club. I mean, he wants to do some big things there.
Yeah, I genuinely enjoyed the DFW area. It's just ridiculously hot when I go there in like July. So I don't, I'm never going to stay there, but it was nice to talk food in his area for a change instead of just always talking about the food in my area. There's some good food in Dallas. Really good food.
I've been once. I need to go back. I'm excited to hopefully get to go back soon. But I will say this. I thought I had a Texan on the ropes on admitting that In-N-Out was better than Whataburger. I thought I was that close.
You were very close. Speaking of good food, how about our sponsor?
East Bay Deli.
That's right.
We're money on this.
Yeah.
East Bay Deli, proud sponsor. We appreciate them for helping us put this on each and every week. And I know that we've kind of kept our second guest kind of wrapped up. We didn't mention anything at the start. Kind of kept a little bit of a secret because we've been mentioning how we've got some plans in the works and things coming for the next couple weeks, and I guess the indefinite future going on at least for the fall. And so it'll be wait.
Oh well.
Hang on.
There. Hey. Oh hi. There.
Hey, how are you?
This is a little early, but
it's too early.
I mean, you're here already, so
I guess
I gave you guys a solid 90 seconds, so I figured it was about time. But
Yeah,
I can leave.
No, you're already here. Might as well just stay.
Okay. What'd I miss?
Well, I mean, we're just kind of playing. We were supposed to kind of keep it a secret and everything, but I guess since you're here now, it's I guess going to be the new face, one of the new faces of Buccaneer Insider. It's Anna Witte. Welcome on. As we've got some sad news at the end for somebody here. We don't want to say anything, but we'll keep that off to the side.
Wait,
Anna,
who is it? What are you guys talking about? What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, nothing, Nick, nothing. Don't worry about it. It's fine. But yeah, Anna, welcome aboard, the newest member here, and you're joining the whole crew. So, how have you been? What have you been up to? And kind of give a little bit of background on yourself for everybody.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to be here. Excited to be a part of your team. I got to meet a few of you last week, and it was just so fun to get to know you guys a little bit. But a little bit about me. I'm originally from Cary, North Carolina. Grew up there, and then I went to Penn State. Played soccer there for a few years. I was a sports broadcast journalism major as well. Covered, our football team, our baseball team, and our soccer team there. And then after college, I couldn't really find a job right away. I'm sure Killian knows it's hard to find on-air positions right out of school. It's basically impossible. So I actually interned at NFL Films for a semester, I guess you would say 3 months, and loved that opportunity. And then I went on to NBC Sports Washington, where I was a digital video editor. And on the side, I did some women's soccer content. I was on air for them in that position. Called some soccer games. Recently, the NWSL just made their return for their tournament this summer. I was a co-host on one of the team's pre- and post-game shows. And now I'm just here in Charleston, South Carolina, enjoying the beaches, social distancing, and doing what everybody else is doing, I guess, just figuring out what's next. And seriously, what the heck is going on these days? I don't even know. So
Definitely sounds like what we're all trying to figure out, but we're thrilled to have you joining us. It's funny because we were kind of talking about you joining us back in January, February, and it was a very long road to finally get you to Charleston Southern. But we are very glad you're here. It's going to make for a fun story someday of how you finally got hired on here.
I know, right? I mean, we've known each other for 8, 9 months. I can't do simple math, but it's been such a long time. When we finally met in person, it was I feel like I've known you for a while because we still stayed in contact, but yeah, it definitely felt good to finally be there. People were asking me questions about what was next for my career, and I was I'm excited, but I have no clue what's going to happen, especially with everything that's happening in today's world. Just kind of crazy, but
yeah, because every time we talk, it's you graciously ask for an update, and then I was just well, this is the plan. Don't know when it's going to happen, but this is the plan. Just because it was hard to say what was going to happen, and even now it's still hard to say what's going to happen. But there is something definitive there, and we were finally able to bring you aboard and make something happen, as opposed to just make some nebulous promise.
Right. No, I'm excited. It sounds like we have some great ideas lined up for the fall. It's going to be a crazy spring, but should be some fun content headed to the fans' way.
Yeah, no, we've got some. That's why I said this is kind of the first step of. I know Nick and I, we've been teasing. We've got things coming. We have ideas, and we weren't lying. So this is one of them, was getting you on board, and so you're going to be joining us for Buccaneer Insider going forward. And you mentioned we do have a lot of, there are more ideas coming, and this is not going to stop. But we want to talk about you just a little bit more and kind of your background. And so what kind of got you into wanting to do journalism and broadcasting, and where did that love stem from?
Yeah, I think growing up, I always really enjoyed watching sports and playing soccer. Soccer was a huge part of my childhood. I played competitive soccer since I was 8 years old, and I always had dreams of playing collegiately. But at the same time, I'm a huge football fan. My dad is a huge football fan. So a lot of, I'm a Steelers fan just like Nick. So a lot of my childhood memories are, Sunday night being able to stay up till 9:30 to watch some Steelers football if they're on. Same with Monday night. Saturdays were filled with college football as well. And I think I just really drew to wanting to get to know these athletes and telling their stories. Definitely a people person, and I just love asking people questions about like themselves. And that kind of drew me to journalism. I'm more of a creative person as well. So I also love creating content as well. So yeah, I knew from probably 6 or 7 years old that I really wanted to be a sports broadcaster. Not really sure what that looked like specifically. And like we've talked about before, these jobs are ever changing, but yeah, I'd say just my love for sports, my love for getting to know people, and my love for creativity is kind of, combined into one to, what being a sports broadcaster is all about.
We did an entire episode where we talked about ourselves and experiences that we've had, and you kind of missed it. So this is your chance to catch up on that. And one of the things we talked about was like the coolest experience we had doing what we did. What would you say is your coolest experience?
Oh man, that's a hard question.
Hey, you got big shoes to fill. Just no pressure, but.
I know. I do have a lot of cool experiences. I'd say I had some really cool experiences covering Penn State football, obviously, especially, in 2016, 2017, when the program started to make its comeback was really fun. But probably my favorite memory is when I was at NBC Sports Washington last summer. Like I said, I covered the women's professional team there called the Washington Spirit. I kind of took my own initiative to be like, hey, no one's really covering this sport or this team. Why don't I just go out there with my own DSLR camera? I had some relationships with professional players just because of college soccer and everything. And I know the team well, the league well. So anywho, I went out there one night. It was post-World Cup. So, post-World Cup for women's soccer is always, the best time to get fans to follow the NWSL. I went out there with one of our writers, and it was kind of a slow night. We were trying to get to know some people, some fans, just going up to them, asking them, why they're here, normal stories you ask as a journalist. And then I went up to one little girl, and she was standing at the fence behind one of the goals, and I was like, hey, what's your name? And she was like, Rose. And I was like, oh, cool, what's your last name? She's like, Lavelle. And it took me a second. I was like, wait, what? She's like, I was like, say your name again. She's like, Rose Lavelle. And her dad was standing there, and she was probably 6. So I was like, am I not hearing her right? And her dad was like, no, that's her name, Rose Lavelle. We have our own Rose Lavelle too. And also at the time, Rose Lavelle played for the Washington Spirit. And everyone knows she's a huge part of the women's national team's success. And I got our writer, and I was like, dude, we have to make this a story. This is just such a cool coincidence. She's Rose Lavelle, watching Rose Lavelle, wanting to be a soccer player herself. Anywho, I told like our PR people, and then it was the same night that the World Cup players were getting roses for, winning the World Cup. And little Rose Lavelle handed big Rose Lavelle her rose, and we got it on camera of her just being like, my name's Rose Lavelle as well. And it like took the other Rose Lavelle totally for a loop. The whole thing went super viral. Like we were on Sports Center, we were on like everything, like all of my tweets went viral, same as Brian, the writer who was with me. And it was just really cool that such a small little detail, me just going up to a little girl at a soccer game being like, hey, what's your name, turned into this viral moment. So I think like for me, that was kind of like, this job can be really hard, staying creative and trying to figure out like how to cover teams differently every day. But it kind of was really cool to experience that and to have such a cool moment like that. So we did a few stories afterwards on her and the big Rose Lavelle. But yeah, that's probably my coolest experience so far.
That's awesome. Going back a little bit, you mentioned so you played soccer growing up and you played in college for a little bit. What was it like for you being a student athlete while also trying to kind of, pursuing one dream and playing soccer and trying to play as long as you did, but at the same time trying to get into journalism and all that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And that's kind of impossible to do. I really enjoyed my time on the team. I loved the relationships that I gained. My experiences being a Big Ten champion is really cool. But at the end of the day, I knew soccer wasn't going to be my life and my career. And I knew this is what I was really passionate about and what I really wanted to do. And I knew in order for me to start my career, I needed to start in college to get more experience on camera. I mean, collegiate soccer, collegiate any sport takes up 90% of your time, and the other 10% is you just trying to like relax and take a deep breath and study for your test. So I think I knew that I needed to stop soccer and focus on, becoming a sports broadcaster. So I kind of took an initiative to cover the football team in a unique way. I really just interviewed people who came for games and were like part of in between quarters. It was basically like the videos I did were what, if you weren't to attend a game, what you wouldn't see on TV kind of was the angle that I took. I don't know where I'm going with this anymore, but yeah, so I mean, I loved my experience as a student athlete. I love the relationships I've made. Those have really helped me in my career. My knowledge of soccer translates well into really any sport. And yeah, I enjoyed my time in both sides. I wouldn't do it any differently. I loved being an athlete, but also really pursuing what I wanted to do with my life.
What did you do at NFL Films?
So I was a production intern, and my job, I interned there spring of 2018. So it was the year that Saquon Barkley graduated and Bradley Chubb graduated. Bradley Chubb played at NC State, and of course, Saquon Barkley was a Penn Stater. So I was a part of the show, Hey Rookie, and I basically logged all of the footage for the show. Do you guys know the show, Hey Rookie, that on the Yeah. So basically, for those who don't know, it's a show where they follow 2, 3, 4, depends on the year, NFL prospects after their bowl game all the way through the NFL draft. And just like from training, their personal lives, just getting to know their families. So I got to log all the footage of us following around those two players. And that was really fun. I got to go to Penn State and shoot the open for the show with Saquon Barkley in it. That was really cool. And on top of that, I got to be a part of a few other shows. Peyton's Places, I kind of helped them at the very, very beginning of that. And just really anything I could get my hands on. I got to meet a ton of producers, a ton of really awesome creative people in the industry that I still have some relationships with. And yeah, that's kind of where I thought I wanted to get into production, because I just loved the style that they shot it in, the editing, how they told stories without, I mean, there's narrators, but not a lot. So yeah, that was such a cool experience. And just getting to be at an NFL Films was really cool in of itself. Probably one of my favorite internships.
So I know this was something that we kind of had conversations with previously, but what's kind of your specialty, or what do you really kind of want to get into? Because there's so many avenues when it comes to the sports broadcasting world. I mean, there's play-by-play like what I do, there's all the behind the scenes stuff and the directing with what Nick does, and there's the segments that we've mentioned that you've done. What's kind of is there anywhere in particular you want to focus on?
Good question. I think for what I'm going to be doing at CSU, I'm really excited to be an analyst, but also be a sideline reporter for some of the sports teams there. Those are things that I've done, but haven't really dove into a ton, and I haven't gotten a ton of opportunities to do. And I love being kind of like what you said the other day. Every game is completely different, and being able to tell a story and it be changing forever, getting to talk to these coaches and these players about upcoming games and the games itself is really exciting. So I'm really excited to tap into that. But also kind of, like with the Washington Spirit was my passion project, and telling those stories is kind of what I'm excited to do with CSU, until, get to know some of these student athletes and get to know what they're about, what makes them tick, what their favorite restaurants are, some of just their pregame rituals. I don't know. It's so fun to just talk to people, have a normal conversation, and get to know them, and then get creative off of that to shoot some fun content that way. So I think those are the two things that I'm excited for specifically. But in the grand scheme of everything, I'm really not sure. I'm just exploring all my options, figuring out what I love the most, what is makes me passionate, and also what I think I'm the most talented in, what I can bring to the table. So we'll see.
Let's leave soccer out.
Okay.
Of all the sports that we do, which you probably glanced over it, which one are you most excited for?
Most excited for?
Whether it's to do features on, or to cover, or to report
Yeah.
on, or even just watch.
I think I'm most excited for basketball because I've heard so many awesome things about the home game experience and how rowdy it gets in there. I've heard some and read some really cool things about the players, the coach. I think, basketball will be really fun to be a part of, and I hope come November it can look the way it's looked in the past. But yeah, I'm gonna say basketball.
That's a good choice. I mean, I can tell you this basketball team, Barclay Radabon Company, they've got everybody's coming back. They're hungry. I can tell you that much. And there's nothing. It's a lot of fun watching Flanders Fleming Jr. Play basketball.
What about you guys? I'm curious to hear what you think.
I want to. Whatever gets Killian on SportsCenter again, I want to see that.
Yeah, I mean.
Wait, what?
That was
Tell me about that.
Men's basketball made SportsCenter like 3 times last year because of Flan mostly, but you'd always hear Killian in the background.
Oh my gosh, that's so great.
It was fun. It's always fun. You know, you dream growing up. You're like, man, like I'd love to be on SportsCenter. And then when actually seeing it, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And
well, that'll have to happen again this year.
I have that moment of that's my directing. That's really cool. You know.
You see actually more of what Nick does, and you know you can just kind of, if you tune your ear to the right spot and the right frequency, you can kind of hear me. But yeah, it's all Nick.
That's awesome.
Go on, you.
It's team effort.
Yes. No, I think truthfully, I never had much of an appreciation for basketball until I started working college athletics, and I got a lot closer to it. And I think now basketball is probably my favorite. In terms of when I have to put on a broadcast. There's just an ebb and a flow to it that makes a lot of sense. There's a pace to it that is fun and exciting. I love football, but it's not herky-jerky like football can be. And it's a lot easier to set up for a basketball game than it is for a football game, that's for sure. So, in that sense, I appreciate that more. So I'm probably, and then just the group of guys that we have, I have friends with a lot of the guys on the basketball team, and I'm looking forward to them being able to play again. So it's basketball for me.
Yeah, no, like I said, I love basketball. I mean, I'm at the point where I'm itching to do anything. I mean, you could throw anything at me. If Nick called me up and said, hey, there's a cross country race, I need you to broadcast a cross country race tomorrow, I'd say, all right, let's go. Tell me when and where. So yeah, I love doing basketball. Like Nick mentioned, it's always going. There's constant motion, and I think the most fun part about it is there's no time to think, and it's just natural. It's right there, and whatever you're just flowing with it. And especially with this team, they're a lot of fun. They shoot the ball a lot, and they play really good defense, and so it's a lot of fun to get to watch those guys go out there. And like Nick mentioned, it's when you get to spend as much time as we do around those players and, get to chat with them and kind of get to know them a little bit more. That's where a lot of the fun comes from. I mean, I think one of my favorite conversations was with Deontay Buskey last year. Is the entire season kept calling him Didi all year, because that was one of the things that I was told. And I came up and we were chatting afterwards, and somebody mentioned to me like, hey, call him Deontay. That's his name. And so I was chatting with him. I went up and I said, so is it Deontay or Didi? He goes, I don't really mind either way. But he goes, my mother calls me Deontay, so I'm sure that's what she'd like. And so from then on, I was like, all right, I'm not gonna make Mrs. Buskey angry. I said it's gonna be Deontay the rest of the season. So
can't make moms upset.
No.
Nope.
I think someone asked you that when we were in the office the other day, just what's your favorite game to call? And I think you hear like your talent more. You're not thinking too hard when you call basketball. Other than football, it's like stop and go.
But,
it's harder to overthink.
But to go with what he said, yeah, I'm just ready to direct anything at this point. I had a dream last night I was directing a softball game, so I'm very much ready for something to be back to direct.
That's so great.
Yeah. No, well, let's get a little bit away from work and all that stuff and get to know more about you as a person. So I'll take over for as Nick's question to everybody when they come to Charleston. So have you been to Charleston before, or is this your first time being down here?
No, it's not. My parents actually moved here a few years ago. And yeah, nope, hasn't been my first time, but I feel like every time I go out and about, there's like a new restaurant or a new spot or something. So that's one of the favorite things about Charleston.
How many, go ahead.
I was going to say, I mean, it's probably just going to go off of a food question, which I feel like it was probably, I feel like that's where you were going.
No. I don't even know where I was going now. For some reason, because I always say that, hey, to the new people, I've been around, I'm a bit of a foodie. Please, if you have questions, ask me. So now it's defaulted to Killian saying, oh, talk to Nick about food, please, which makes me feel like a fat boy, which, I mean, I'm in shape, but still. I do like food, but yeah. So I think he was trying to lend that question this way, but I will not dignify with that an answer. But if you have questions about restaurants, yes, I can answer them.
Okay, perfect. What's your top? Let's say top 3.
Oh man, Tiki Taco.
Where's that?
It's off of Rivers Avenue, it's not too far from the campus. It's really good.
Okay.
Lewis Barbecue is phenomenal. And then there was a really nice restaurant we went to Valentine's Day to a couple of years ago, and I don't remember what it is, but it was fantastic. A friend of mine hooked me up with a $150 gift card, and that's the only way we could afford to go. But of course, it's slipping my mind. So I'll come back to that on the number 3.
Wait, for the Lewis barbecue thing, and I'll let you go. Did you know that he's opening a Mexican restaurant, and on Mother's Day, he sold like a bunch of the tamales that I guess, whatever, he's going to sell in his new restaurant? I feel like if you're a Lewis fan, you should know that.
I did not know that. This is
yeah. It could be open. I don't know. I don't know if COVID's changed things, but
yeah, it kind of does. It's kind of changed things, but
yeah.
The Establishment was the place. The Establishment is the name of it. It's pretty new, but it was phenomenal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So but it's expensive.
Yeah. So we're going kind of price tiers here. It's Tiki Tacos, $2 a taco, but they're really good tacos. Lewis Barbecue is a little more pricey, and then the Establishment is get dressed up real nice and go out on the town, expensive. So if we're going price tiers, then that works out that way. Those are my top 3 that I can think of, though. Putting me on the spot instead of me just naming names. Place in Park Circle, Lola's really good. Evo, the pizzeria there's pretty good.
I've been there. What was the first one you said?
Lola's. I mentioned it earlier to Cliff. It's a Creole kind of a place.
Okay. Oh, the purple building. I know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm sure I could put together a list and it would be deep and plenty.
You should.
Yeah, well.
Well, I was going to say, Nick already had, I mean, how many guests have we had on the show so far, Nick? I mean, you've got, the list is growing. The list of the number of people you need to get restaurants to is approaching the number of restaurants you have on the list.
We've been back in office and nobody's approached me about it, so I've been able to put it off. But this is episode 17, and we have not had a repeat guest, amazingly. And one of those we had 2 people at once, so that would have been 35. Your guest 35?
Wow.
That's it. Well, no, because there was an episode, you're 33, because there was an episode where it was just us.
Yeah, true.
So,
okay.
Guess 33, but still.
That's a lot of shows. Since what, March?
April?
Yeah, I think it was April. I think was when we started this off. See, See, this is the exact reason why we're all in like broadcasting is because we don't know how to do math.
Yeah, exactly.
I was told there'd be no math, and yet here we are.
Yeah, exactly. Yet here we are.
Yes.
No, that's not my thing either.
What are some of the things that you do outside of work, especially here? Obviously, we got the beach and all that. What are some of the fun activities you like to do and get out and on your free time?
I enjoy working out, but things have changed since COVID hit. I started to become a big runner. My roommate in DC was like a collegiate runner. She kind of like I want to say motivated me, but what's the word, man?
Accountability?
No, she didn't motivate me, but encourage maybe. No, anywho, it doesn't matter. I started running then, and then I started running down here more. But once summer hit, I was like, heck no, I am not running in this heat. Unless you'd have to get up before like 6 a.m. to run. But I've started doing some like online classes, but I was pretty big into CrossFit before things hit. So we'll see if things change after COVID's gone. I enjoy trying new restaurants. So thank you, Nick, for the list.
I just got 3 more, all on Sullivan's Island.
Okay. Oh, was Obstinate Daughter on there? Because that's one.
It is.
It is?
Same with Poe's and the Co-op.
Okay. I've heard of the Co-op, but I've heard great things about Obstinate's Daughter.
Obstinate.
That's Darius Rucker's like spot. Apparently, if you go there, you'll run into him.
You have to see him there, but
Fun fact.
yeah. So yeah, there you go. There's 3 more. Poe's,
Okay.
Obstinate Daughter, and the Co-op.
Okay. And in Charleston specifically, I love walking on King Street, going through all the stores. It's just such a pretty town. I just like exploring it, but hoping to like explore more specific areas, not just the touristy place now that I live here. I've heard some really fun like bike paths and stuff on Daniel Island. I like stand-up paddleboarding. I kind of like just being outside and doing things, especially now that we have to be inside all the time. But yeah, I'm kind of boring, I guess.
I'll add Barca to that list as well.
Barca. Okay.
It's up.
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's near the alley, which is also a good spot. See,
Okay.
you got me started.
I know.
The tide is the ball is rolling, and it's not going to stop anytime soon.
Well, it's a good thing. We need recommendations.
Yes.
Yeah, we need recommendations. And look, anybody watching, I mean, the list is pretty extensive for anybody that's watching. I'm sure if you went back, you could pull up all of the places that we've mentioned over these 17 episodes. And I mean, there's a pretty strong list that you put together.
Just a supercut of me talking about food. Exactly what I need. That's awesome. That's great.
Are we coffee people here? Like, is that a thing?
So
Yes.
I drink coffee. So
You don't?
I don't. Being from Utah, I never did. It was one of the things, I think I actually mentioned it in our episode with just Nick and I. The first Starbucks that I had in my hometown didn't show up until my junior year of high school. So that goes to show you how, I'm not a coffee person.
Not a coffee person? That's okay.
I was not so I went through a quick phase at like 6 years old when I was with my grandparents. My grandmother would drink coffee and I'd drink it with her. And then I stopped. And then when I started dating my wife, she was a big coffee drinker. And so I started drinking coffee.
Nice. Yeah. I enjoy like 1 cup of coffee in the morning. I'm not like an addict, but I enjoy trying different coffee shops in the area. So I was going to see if you guys had a favorite coffee shop, but
That I'll get with my wife and she'll put together something for you because we're coffee shop people, but she'll remember the names a lot more than I will.
okay.
Yeah.
Good.
But yeah, we're definitely coffee shop people. And that would be one of our things of let's just go on a coffee date and just spend half an hour together in a coffee shop and missing that now.
Yeah,
But,
right?
So it goes.
You have to find one that has outdoor seating.
In like 3 months, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're getting there. Hopefully, like we said, unfortunately, there's no fall sports for us. And, that definitely makes, I know, all 3 of us quite sad. But, hopefully we can start to get things rolling and get things a little bit back to normal. And there'll definitely be a lot of the 3 of us in the spring as long as things can get back going.
In the meantime, as I told my wife, and you can tell your significant others, enjoy your time with me because once spring rolls around, bye.
See ya.
Yeah. So the only way that a lot of people might be able to see us is through here.
And even then, my wife's out of luck. I'm behind the scenes. I'll put another GoPro in the trailer like I did the one time, and just
There we
put
go.
a double box of me in the trailer directing so she can see me.
Perfect.
All right. Well, I don't know. I mean, it was great, finally getting to introduce you, Anna, to everybody, and it was a great conversation. Hopefully, all of the viewers, the listeners, everybody that's been tuned in with us over these 17 weeks they've gotten to know you, and they're certainly going to get to know you a little bit more, because here is the kind of the next little announcement. It is going to be Anna Witte joining us for Buccaneer Insider, one of the new host, taking over for our dear friend Nicholas Case.
What?
Nick, you're still invited on
What?
the show. You're not kicked off completely.
Wait, what? This is my show, and I wasn't just what? No, I'm just kidding. No, I'll probably pop in at time to time to spell one of these guys too. But it's time for me to focus on whatever broadcast we will eventually have, and just getting things in order if we do have a tough spring. So I'm going to take a back seat. And it's about time. We've had a good run, and we're going to bring it on campus now too, so you guys can actually interview people in person at a socially distant rate.
Yeah, we're hopefully we're done with Zoom for the most part. We're not completely done with Nick Case. Don't worry, he's not going anywhere. He'll still be around, but at
Probably
least
be setting the episode up and editing it. But
yeah. I mean, look, if you think of the bright side, now you don't have to see my face every week.
I'll still see your face because I'll be in person.
Well, at least we'll be in person. You don't have to see it through a screen.
Is that better? Is it?
Probably right.
Get to see Anna though, so that's nice.
Hey, thank you.
Yes. All right. It seems like you guys got this, so I'm gonna take off. Enjoy the rest of the episode. I'll just let me know when it's done. I'll end the call. Just text me or something, okay?
All right. Bye, Nick.
Bye, Nick.
Bye.
Love the Steelers sign.
Of course. Well, that's it. And then there were two.
Then there was just us two. Hey, I'm so pumped to be working with you this fall and in the spring. I think we're going to have some really fun creative content for the fans along the way.
Yeah, we certainly are. We've been kind of thinking up some ideas, and we're certainly going to be going forward with some of those. And we'll see. We might take a week off, a week or two off, trying to get things ironed out and get everything sorted out the way we want to. But we will be back. Buccaneer Insider's not going anywhere. I don't know, Anna. Do you have anything else to leave anybody with?
Not really. I'd say just fans. If you have any ideas or things that you want to see yourself, just tweet at us. What's a good way to get in contact with us? Maybe tweet at us or send us a DM of some sort. I don't know, but let us know.
Email Nick. Maybe he'll answer everybody else's. He looked over my email the first time I sent him one. Maybe he'll actually answer yours.
Yeah, he can actually do a job. Have something to do.
We'll put our Twitter handles down at the bottom so y'all can see them. Any ideas, like Anna said, we'd love to hear them. And this is really for you guys and to showcase this university and these student athletes.
Exactly. Yeah, we're excited to bring it to you as well. Should be a fun year.
Certainly will be. Well, no fall sports, but we'll be back. Thank you all for joining us. We want to, again, a welcome to Anna Witte, the newest co-host of Buccaneer Insider. And so for Anna, my name's Killian McClatchy, the ghost of Nick Case, whichever direction he might be. The ghost of Nick Case. It was great having him. Until next time, we'll see you all on Buccaneer Insider.